So when it comes to the mindset that people have that they kind of have this fear of being seen as a beginner, what what advice would you give to people who feel that way and are almost embarrassed in a sense to kind of be the one who's the newbie or someone who's just starting in a room full of people who maybe have done it for a while?
That's one of our core values. It's typically men, right? I've been doing this all the time. I see a lot of guys that come in and they have this understanding or thinking around. I bench press 225 pounds, man. I'm fit. I know what I'm doing. For I think women, a lot of ladies that come in there, or at least in that initial conversation we have, they'll be much more on the side of like they're here to learn and be comfortable. Where a lot of guys will come in like, hey, I know what to do. I just want to be pushed. I want to be around other fit guys. So it's a slight change in like how they're perceived of uh, their expertise and knowledge, right? Or at least their basic knowledge of training. Okay, yeah, like everyone's gonna have to do something, like I said, they're a beginner. Um, and for what we do in our style of training, it's definitely a humbling thing. Right? I've been doing this a long time, and there's elements to it that I'm a beginner now. So that's the fun. It's the element that I think keeps it fresh for me of embracing that beginner stage, and I learned that early. When you go through basic gymnastics, basic weightlifting, um, basic rowing, so you can get to fun advanced things with gymnastics. We can end up walking around on your hands, and I tend to be the funnest uncle when I'm at a wedding and I'm walking around my nephews on my hands. So, but it started with, some basic overhead pressing strength and working on hollow holds and, some really fundamental core pieces that you have to build. And then it just gets more and more progressive. You have to go through that beginner stage. But um, I love the Shia LaBeouf, just do it. Just do it video. I just send that to people and get them usually not as motivated as I was hoping, but I try.
Do you feel that there's an assumption people make about progress that tends to slow them down?
Yeah, I mean, seen it, right, for sure. I definitely think there's a lot of people now, right, that are seeing again other people's results or other people's things with um things like Ozempic, or some of these weight loss drugs. People just assume they're using it. They just assume they're steroids, and it's possible, but then they look back themselves and they go, I have really bad genetics, right? Or I don't have I have a thyroid. And, we'll see these things, so people kind of start to doubt themselves, right? But when you talk to them and it's like, hey, they have pizza on Friday nights and they drink 3 nights a week and they go to the gym maybe once or very consistently. And so I think it's just, again, they don't know the expectation on what it actually takes for their body to adapt and get a result. Again, the person on the magazine cover that a lot of people are buying the supplements for, or the Instagram accounts to follow, people are daily. These people eat well daily. So, it's one of those things where you're going to get the results that you put in. I think our bodies are much more physiological in terms of we're like a light switch, right? If I go hit that light switch, the light's going on or off, right? And there's a reason. I can't get an electrician to find out why. The body is much more exact than people realize when you boil it down. So, put in certain inputs, you're going to see certain outputs. Becomes something that for me, I've been doing this a very long time, very, very consistent with the results, with what we get. And so people build trust in that, but it's individual on that level of effort. So to me, are people actually going to do things with their diet that cause the result that they're looking for? Are they going to eat enough protein? Are they going to create a calorie deficit to lose weight? And that's the more complex stuff. This is where it tends to be the element that you see people hit a wall with, where they'll lose 10 pounds, but they have a hard time losing the next 10 pounds, and maybe they are having overtime because they're fatigued and they're not eating enough protein. So again, it's very situational and individual, but for sure have seen that a lot